And parents with the children from a young age, give these children to teachers. Some of them they have never seen before. And these children come with their strengths, their vulnerabilities, their frailties, their anxieties. And in giving over your children to these teachers have a responsibility to give back to society better product. And Featherstone is right, because there's a lot of acting going on in there. What we are advising parents to do is to make that acting real. That is, be there in the school in ways that will show that you are in fact involved in the lives of your children. It pained me yesterday when a teacher told me, "Sir, Mister, some parents do not even come to collect their children's report books." It is that bad. When it reaches that point, the very children are left to wonder, how much caring is there for me in the scheme of things? Older parents never did that. My old aunt who brought me up never would do that. She would practice some of the things that Jenks says that we should all be doing in our homes. A kind of subtle expectation for our children. Not always telling these young minds, I want you to be this, and I want you to be that, and I want you to be other. But subtly putting in place things that will make them want to learn. Things that will make them even want to be better than we are. Sometimes even reminding them of the sacrifices that you have made to reach this point. I'm going back with a check, a little check that Yet gave me for my work. And those pick-me of mines, big people now, will expect me as I walk in that living room to sing my little ditty. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks, for he has given Jesus Christ, his Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. And I could go on, and Megadi would wonder if I'm rivaling him this evening. Why is it important to tell you this? Not that it in any way does something to show me as being different from anybody else, but that there was a subtle expectation that I brought to those pick-me when they were small and when times were harder, to make them know that Daddy had to make the sacrifice for them to go to school, and to one of the best schools in the country. When one puts a little plastic stethoscope at the bedhead of a child, it's not that you necessarily feel she will be a doctor. But if perchance she takes that stethoscope and begins to sound the animals and give them prescription, and then come to you and want to do it, it would be like my little daughter today, who is practicing surgery on people and doing it in a way that we possibly never thought it would happen. What did we do? We gave subtle expectations. Or that old aunt in her one pair of stiletto shoe in our poverty, it's one she had. In fact, when she wore it and put it on, and I told her, Aunt True, you're looking good, and she would say yes, but not a cent in my pocket. She went to a principal who had labeled me bad, meaning that there was no hope for this guy. Later, when I worked with him at the university and reminded him of it, he apologized profusely. But Aunt Rue left her setting, and with a little type of African behind that she could swing. You will see some of it tonight. You will see some of it tonight. She made him understand, you cannot violate my child. It wasn't her child. My mother had been forced to leave the country in an attempt to make a better life. And Aunt Rue soldiered on. What is the story there? Subtle expectation. Papers in the home for people to read. Not necessarily forcing it down your throat. The story there is subtle expectation. And that is one of the things we would have shown you on the slides tonight about the kinds of subtle expectations you must have for your children. And that is some of the things their teachers who are here in the audience are some of the subtle expectations you must have for your charges, your students. And then we talk about love. Love and respect for children. Unconditional love. A love that does not, in fact, link itself with wealth or performance, so that even children within the same household see children being preferred from others because one seems to be brighter than the other. And children remember that. Children pick up the subtle expectations you have for me as you have for my brother whom you feel is heading to be a dummy. All that is in that crucible. And we make or break children. I spoke to teachers this afternoon from my heart about what we do for two children when in fact we do not understand their masculinities across a stage, across a spectrum, from what could be called the alpha male to the individual who is finding himself or herself in an environment where he didn't do it to himself and is now struggling to find that sense of being. And we can once again make or break that student, that human self, if we apply labels, if we show them to be different in a way that will preclude them the opportunity to learn. Take from them the opportunity to learn how to learn. I won't be long because I get this sense that the message will be so much better in an environment where you will see people act it out. People who will in fact show you ways in which teachers bring their own experiences to bear on children based on how they were taught. And parents bring their own experiences based on how they were brought up. And if the two cannot meet in a way that suggests that this is ours, then there will be a level of discord between the parent and the child and the teacher. Principals, embrace your parents more. Parents, make the school part of the sanctuary of life of your child. When I started, I said about the child writing their text of life. People like me are getting ready to close that book. These children are now into their early chapters. And depending on what we do with them and to them will determine what will be the world that they have named when they reach like me and others like me. So we have a plan, dear parents, to change things. The teachers almost have struck a covenant with us to give you an opportunity to be more involved in school. We have begged them to understand that homework is a task that should not be overburdening, that the quantum of homework should not extend. In fact, Principal Diane was saying to me, but it shouldn't be more than an hour. And I'm saying, but Principal Diane, somebody reported 3 hours. It means that we now have to look at that quantum in the context of the children being able to find time to develop their sense of self. We intend to give you parents